Hey guys, it's the Gamekeepers coming at you with our first podcast. It's an idea we've wanted to do for a long time, and so yeah, this is our first one, and I'm here with Dim Sim Card
What's up, guys?
and Bo Fallen Angel,
Hi.
and I'm Dreadbeat.
What's up?
So yeah, and what this is going to be is possibly a bi-weekly or even maybe bi-monthly podcast that we can do, just talking about the latest developments in the video game world, and yeah, just explaining what's going on and analyzing stuff like that.
What's
So, thought we kickstart it all with what we've been playing. So, Dim, what have you been playing this month?
I just got Skyrim on PC, and I know it's a bit late. It came out last year. When it came out, I didn't actually, I in a way hated it, but now that I actually bought it, I like it. And I
And
just got to mention that I've never played Skyrim on PC, but there's this in a way it's kind of like coding where you can add as many dragons as you want, and like you can get whatever armor instantly. It is amazing. So it made Skyrim much easier.
so cheap. All the other gamers out there having to grind their way through all the levels of Skyrim, and you open up with all the fresh armor right off
It
the bat.
it's no mod. Anyone that has PC, Skyrim can do it. Actually, guys, I'll make a video of how to do it. It's extremely helpful if you just want like, I got the full Daedric armor in about 3 minutes. It's very easy to do. So, um, just come back to our channel in probably a week's time. It'll be up.
Nice. So, how are you finding Skyrim anyway? Like, what quests are you taking on?
Um, I haven't actually played. I've probably played about 2 hours of it. I'm right now learning how to do the shouts, so I'm not too
Oh
far
yeah.
into it.
So, have you climbed up the giant throat of the world, as it's called?
Yeah,
That's
just a
amazing.
bit
That
after
was
that.
probably one of my favorite gaming moments of last year.
You
Just
said
climbing up
for a
that
sec,
massive mountain.
you said throat of the world, and I just wasn't sure what I was thinking for a second then.
Yeah, they do not come up with the most unique of names, I guess you could say. They're quite generic, B-rate fantasy names.
Yeah.
Throat of the world, for instance.
Exactly. All right, so what about you, Fallen Angel? What you been playing?
Lately I've been playing Naruto Storm 2. It's been out, I think, for a few years now. But I got it a little while ago. I've been trying to get every single achievement on there. And
How's that
there's, I
going?
think, 50, I think. And I only have five or six left. And then I was doing a mission. If you play it, you would know. You have to get all the ninja tools, every single one, and there are about four or five left. And because during the story I fucked up a certain part, and I didn't buy these things, I have to start all over again. Even though I have all my battle points and money and all that, all my items and all that shit, I still have to start again, going through all the story and stuff, doing all the missions again, which pissed me off. But it'll be great when I actually finally get them all.
Nice. So what do you think of it anyway? Because I've been playing Naruto games for a long time. I'm a big fan of the series, but I kind of dropped out of it last year or so.
I'm still
Like, is it
watching it,
good?
so
Yeah. How
Yeah.
far up the character roster does it go? Because the ones
Um,
I was playing only gave me
it
20 or so characters,
it
which wasn't
goes
so good.
starter Shippuden up to the where Sasuke joins the Akatsuki versus Killer Bee, where it stops off, and then generations it'll keep going from there, and then add the previous generation. But with Naruto Storm 2, I think this is the one of the only ones that has open world and
ah,
stuff. Even though you have restrictions in this open world,
So
um,
it's semi-open.
yeah, it's semi-open. You can't like jump on roofs and stuff, but you can run around the world and stuff. So you can go to the Rain Village, you can go to the Sand Village, all that sort of stuff, which is awesome.
that's pretty smart. It's awesome.
Whereas and you can sort of fight anyone really, but in generations it stopped that because there was too many characters and stories and all that shit.
On the note of generations, do you have generations?
No, but I'm going to get. I think I will reward myself by getting every single achievement by buying generations.
Best way to play.
Yeah.
And I guess I should explain what I've been playing. I'm a little bit late to the party, but I finally picked up Battlefield 3.
I'm sorry, but this
Um,
is something I didn't believe when I first heard because during the EA conference, where we mentioned about the Battlefield 3 Premium, you said that you doubted about getting Battlefield 3, and now you're actually
I
playing
don't know.
it.
Yeah,
I'm
I'm
confused.
I'm notoriously not into shooters and stuff like that, but I essentially ended up hanging around with Jazzo, who was on our last commentary, and I don't know, it's just playing through Battlefield. We only played for about an hour. I think Fallen Angel, you were there,
Yeah, I was.
and I don't know, it's just something about it. I've been after a really good online game for a long time because Call of Duty is it's not
No.
my forte, I should
I,
say.
I used to
So
like it, but it just sort of got boring.
yeah, so I picked it up. I got it for $47, reduced from 110,
Shit, really?
and
Holy
which
crap!
was kind of yeah, it's kind of a no-brainer. So I picked it up. I'm loving it. I just can't believe how good it is, and
Yeah, I
I'm
actually
kicking
picked up the
myself.
same deal as well of what you did, except I got it on PC. So I actually have it on PS3 and PC, and you get an Xbox. So
Things keep conspiring against us, man. So yeah,
that's
apart
the
from
one
that,
negative of having all three consoles. It's actually quite
yeah,
irritating.
it's a night.
Oh, yeah.
Uh, yeah, so I also finished Max Payne 3, which I
How,
love playing, but it's not a great game. It's great story, great everything, but the mechanics just aren't sharp enough. But I had fun with it, and Rockstar, they always have amazing stories.
I also prestiged in the Assassin's Creed Revelations multiplayer, which was pretty good.
Oh yeah. What do you think about the multiplayer anyway? I mean,
It, it
I've got a huge hardcore following, but it's not
it's
for every gamer
it's better
to just
than
pick
the
up.
Brotherhood one. It's really good, but the skill levels go from incredibly crap people that just love to run around in parkour to the extreme ninjas who you can't even find the whole game, but they will constantly kill you.
See, that's what I think the AC multiplayer needs to be, more of those type of gamers, because when you see, I remember playing Brotherhood, and I was playing very sneaky, but it was always annoying when you look up and see a noob running across the buildings, and you're just thinking that's a cheap kill, whoever's hunting that guy.
Especially when everyone but you was on the roof, you're winning, but every single one of your targets are up there, and the four people that are chasing you are up there. Which sucks ass.
I
I don't
actually
know.
haven't picked up my Assassin's Creed Revelations in a while. I've been meaning to finish the story, but I've been getting sidetracked with everything.
It's not that great of a compelling story. I mean, I felt that Brotherhood just had more to it, whereas in Revelations, I don't know, I got bored of Ezio. I put it down for 2 months or something because I just got bored of Ezio.
That's where I'm at. I'm just in a way over Ezio. I'm like, I'm really keen for number three, but
Yeah.
Revelations is like, just hurry up, Ezio, just finish the story.
See, what I
Yeah,
did with
but
Revelation was I changed my skin to look like Desmond, so it looked like a Desmond game to me.
Nah, smart.
nice. I'm just saying though, no, not Desmond. When Ezio was younger, he was just such an amazing character, simply because, well, he had charisma, he was funny, he had everything going for him. Whereas now, when he's older and stuff,
He's
yeah, he's
serious.
wiser and all, but he's just not as interesting. I liked it when
Yeah,
Ezio was chasing after every woman he saw in the game,
that.
whereas this one, yeah,
Yeah, I agree as well. I gotta say, if they kept a bit of that inside of him, it would have made the story. It would have kept the story to be interesting. But I guess since he is the new mentor, I guess he's got to be serious. So
yeah.
Even
I can
though
see.
Sophia was there, but even then,
Hmm.
Yeah, I also miss Leonardo though. He just
yeah.
he didn't have that much of a role in Revelations.
Well, Brotherhood, he had a pretty small role as well.
Yeah, which is sad though, because he was one of the most intriguing side characters to any game. To re-envision Leonardo da Vinci in that
In,
way, which just
in
it's really smart.
Brotherhood, I was going through it, and I'm like, come on, where's Leonardo? I was actually excited for him to join in with the story, but not really.
No, for Da Vinci
Yeah,
and Brotherhood, you had to get the DLC, I think, the Da Vinci disappearance, and half the achievements were about that, which pissed me off a bit.
Yeah.
okay, got a little bit sidetracked there, so let's bring it back. And so yeah, Max Payne, and I've been very bored recently, so I've also picked up The Witcher 2, which I bought ages ago, but still haven't got around to finishing. That game is scary in how big it is. Like,
Talking about scary, sorry just for interrupting, but
yeah,
have you seen the Slender gameplay? That is
Holy
an
crap! Oh my,
extremely
that
scary.
is not fucking scary at all. That is mild. Have you actually seen the Slender channels? the people that actually do it,
Yes.
those are fucking scary. There's one called Everyman Hybrid. There is this thing called a rake. It cut a dude's arm completely, almost off. It was fucking awesome and scary at the same time.
Yes, that's
Well, I'm sitting here having no idea what's going on, but continue.
okay. If we use that donor slender, I'll put a video in the description of some dude doing a comment. I don't know, teaser trailer. Then you can go on from there. It's practically you have to go find these 8 pages around. You're in the middle of the bush, in the middle of the night with one torch, and you have to go find these pages. And
Pages are related
practically,
to the Tribe 12 channel where he gets these pages with these messages on them.
yeah, you're being followed by this really creepy dude called the Slender. And I actually read he's an actual myth.
No, he's not. Well, yeah, sure, let's go with that.
Yeah, like the Bigfoot, but practically he's got no face and really creepy. Anyways, in the game, you have to try not be spotted by him or not be killed by him, I guess.
Yeah, you can
And
see him. The point of the game is to get scared shitless by him, but not to get killed.
yes, you might turn around with a torch and he randomly appears out of nowhere. So you look back, he's not there. You keep going forward. You look back again, and he's right there. And I get scared from that.
I sort of watched that and laughed a bit because you were shitting your pants and I wasn't. Because I've seen the things and I know how scary the fucking real thing is. So
I've never even heard of the Slender, so I did some research up, and actually, that's how I know now it's a myth. I'm like, oh, okay.
well, it's not really. Well, apparently it's real because there's so many videos that have him in it, like, and then there's all these other things which makes you think about it really.
Yeah, I know that happened to me today. I'm like, oh shit, don't kill me.
But he's based mainly in America because yeah, just America all over.
Yeah,
And yeah, and Germany, I think. I can't remember.
that's why I love Australia, mate.
Yeah.
Anyways, about The Witcher 2 being scary.
I hold out that it's harder than Skyrim and way, way deeper. Simply because I don't know how to explain it, but all the mechanics that you have to master to essentially win in the game, it's just daunting. And usually I love a good RPG, but this is just the one that I can't seem to get invested in. Which is, I don't know, now I'm kicking myself because I spent a lot of money on that game. I bought the limited edition. I was really excited for it, and I've only completed the first chapter.
Oh man, that's so.
I
Yeah,
remember you were really excited for the release of this game.
yeah, I was. It was the one that,
It's kind of
There's
like
four-
the Game of Thrones game.
yeah, definitely my thing. But it was just the beginning of the year. I looked through all the releases, and that's what stood out for me. And I thought, I never got to play The Witcher 1, which, because my PC is a joke, but I really wanted to see what this tiny company from, I think they're from Poland, and they've only got 40 or so developers on the team. And the world they've created, it's almost impossible to work out how they've done that. The world is so deep, so vast, and with such a tiny budget, they've created a masterpiece, I have to admit, but I just can't get around to finish it.
Good luck with that one.
Yep. So now that we've done that and all, we've got two main topics that we thought we'd discuss today. First one being the R18 rating in Australia. And for all those who are listening from overseas, like America or the UK or something, you guys have already had the R18 rating. So this might make us seem a tiny bit backward, but this is a huge deal for us, considering gamers in Australia have been calling out for the R18 rating for so long.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and we've been given the rating. We're just wondering, thought we'd discuss, our thoughts on it and whether or not we thought, we should have the R18 rating or not. So what do you think, Dim?
Well, in a way, I think it's a good thing and a bad thing at the same time. Like, I thought about it, and for those under 18 citizens of Australia that can't buy a game, wouldn't that also just increase the piracy of that game that has the R18 rating?
Not necessarily, because even though kids look at MA15 plus games, they're like, "Whoa, that's awesome." Kids also look at R18 games and say, "Whoa, that's just a bit too far," which is good
Yeah.
because if say the new I know Black Ops 2, it probably won't be an R18 game, but if they made those sorts of games like Battlefield and COD, R18 games, means there'd be a lot less children online, which makes a lot more teenagers and older adults a lot more happy.
If you think about it, there's a lot of teenagers that actually buy this game, so I don't think they'd want to do the R18 because there's a lot of people like between the ages of 14 and 15 that buy this game. And I'll be back. The damn phone is ringing.
Yeah. So my thoughts on the R18 rating is that we should, for starters, have had it a long time ago. It's just embarrassing that as gamers, our government doesn't trust us enough to make our own decisions with regards to what we play. And if you look at any horror film on the market today, you can just tell that the themes explored in them are 100 times worse than anything that can be explored in a video game. I mean, I was hugely excited for Mortal Kombat, the I should call it a remake for Xbox and PS3.
Oh,
That
yeah.
never got released in Australia, which was a huge kicker simply because I looked at it. It's violent, but there's no themes in it that are considered R18 worthy. Whereas there was no scare factor to it. There was no, I guess you could say, taboo themes explored. It was just a game with violence. And
Incredible amount of that.
I know some of the fatalities in that game were shocking, but it's all these studies and people claim that video games are the reason for violence in youths or whatever. That's all a myth as far as I'm concerned, because I've read repeatedly from really well-respected sources that if someone commits an act that's, a violent act against someone, that video games aren't going to be in any way near associated with it. They might make up 0.01% of the reason why someone would do something, but there are hundreds of pre-existing conditions that lead up to that.
Games
And
really
it's-
don't teach you any sort of life skills in general. So
Yeah, and it's also the fact that a video game is so obviously a video game. There's nothing in it. It's hyper real.
except maybe
Even-
Battlefield, that's pretty close. But even then,
No, I mean, in such that if you die in Battlefield, it comes
can
up with
respawn.
menus and stuff like that. It's
Yeah.
not,
you get to pick how you want to come back to life.
you're removed from the experience. Whereas, say, the whole futuristic idea of putting on a pair of sunglasses and then getting transported to a world, if that existed, that would be an immersive experience that could be blamed for, teaching violent acts to kids, but it's not even that. And video games aren't that suggestive about the
No.
themes, so I'm really happy that we got the R18. Some games obviously shouldn't be released simply because you can get some retarded ones that are focused so solely on sex and stuff like that. They would never get released in any country. And I don't really know the names yet. Yeah, but for starters, that's a waste of money to whoever developer pays them. Whatever publisher pays a company to develop a game like that. Whereas,
Their
say-
animating skills or their IT skills
Just
could have been
saying,
used
yeah.
somewhere else. Yeah.
Whereas I'm thinking, certainly, modders these days can design. I was watching, what was it, Cry of Fear, a game that explores child abuse, child violence, debilitating murder scenes, and it's genuinely scary. I was watching through it and I thought, this has been explored in cinema for so long. How come, as gamers, we are told we can't watch it, where we could go down to the video store or something and pick up a film containing the exact same themes, but be told we can't play the game of it?
Yeah, I'm back.
I don't know. Yeah, you missed a fair bit there, man.
Yeah,
anyway.
something about going to the movies and games or
Yeah,
some shit.
just explaining how video games they don't explore dark themes too much in the way that a film can. So it's just a bit stupid that they hold this R18 rating over games and consider it the reason for violence. A massive factor, which is just
I'll be back.
nonsense.
Sorry, but duty
And he's
calls.
off again. So yeah, I'm glad we've got the R18 rating, and yeah. And now I was just the other bigger development, I guess you could say, in the world of gaming is Star Wars Battlefront 3 footage was finally released onto the internet. Battlefront 3 Star Wars Battlefront obviously being the beloved Star Wars third-person shooter that sadly never got the third installment in the franchise due to the fact that its developer, Pandemic, got shut down after the admittedly terrible Lord of the Rings Conquest. So, guys, Battlefront 3 footage, what we've been crying out for.
I loved Battlefront 2. I didn't even know that there was Battlefront 3 in the making until like not so long ago. And now that this Battlefront 3 gameplay was released, I'm like, no! The footage that was released was practically before alpha, so let's just say there
It
was
looks rough.
heaps
Yeah.
of glitches. For instance, your character would be white unless you injure yourself with a grenade. So, the game still needed a lot of working on, but it had major potential.
Yeah, I'm gutted that Pandemic got closed down because in this current fucked up financial crisis, if you make one bad game, chances are you're going to be shut down by your publisher. And Pandemic, well, they tried to bring the Battlefront formula to Lord of the Rings universe, which on paper looked amazing. I remember Conquest was a game I was so excited for and got so let down by. But I mean, at the end of the day, they made two phenomenal Star Wars games, which are possibly my favorite Star Wars games of all time. And even though the pre-alpha footage looks pretty
Dodgy.
shit, yeah,
Yeah, shit.
let's be honest. You know, I'd still give anything to be able to play Battlefront 3 running in HD or whatever.
Yes, I
And
just love when old time games are remade, like Ratchet and Clank Trilogy. I'm really want to pick that up soon.
yeah,
The first three were
um,
amazing.
also just saying that I'm pretty hopeful that the franchise isn't dead yet, simply because after Duke Nukem, which was postponed countless times and was delayed by 15 years, over 15 years for its release, it got transferred from 3 different publishers or something ridiculous. You know, anything is possible with a beloved franchise. So who knows? Maybe next generation we could see Battlefront 3,
Okay, so
which
yeah,
would be amazing.
on the note of that, the reason why this was, released and shown to the world was because I think it was a 1,000 subscriber special video. So I think it's for IGN. Um,
Yeah, I am wondering where they got that footage from though, simply because it doesn't make any sense from I think Activision owned Pandemic or maybe it was THQ to give away or even lose such footage like that simply because it only raises more questions as to why Pandemic got closed down. So I am curious as to where the footage came from.
like it's not just a 10-minute video; it's a whole hour video. And the thing is that they've even gotten someone who helped create this game to do a voiceover what of what's in the game. So he would explain what like just of the ideas of the game and all that. So
Yeah.
it's
Plus
actually
the
really
whole fact
special.
that it's a 1 hour piece of gameplay is that how far along was this game into its development cycle? I mean, the graphics look terrible, but if you upped the graphics, which doesn't take long in development cycles, that would take 2 months to create a pretty average looking game, which is still very nice on these consoles. How far along was that game to completion, and whether or not, you know, with small investment, possibly it could be finished? Because if you can knock out 1 hour worth of gameplay, you know, raises questions as to what other maps were designed, what were the other concepts they were having in mind.
On the other note, the frame rate of this game at that stage was terrible. It was
It was, yeah,
like 5 or 10 frame per second. So, but
yeah, because considering current consoles can run up to way over 60
yeah,
comfortably.
and I actually think this was on console. So by memory, I think it was. On a different note, I think Beautiful and Angel had to leave.
Yeah, I
Sorry.
do.
Oh no, he's still here.
Yeah, I'm
No,
still here.
okay.
For now, for now.
See,
So
guys, that's how much attention we pay Fallen Angel. He just appears and he reappears out of nowhere.
yeah, so have you seen the footage? Please tell me you have, though.
Yeah, I have.
Yeah, definitely.
What are your thoughts on this game?
It
Oh,
looks it looked like it was going to be heaps of fun, but I'm kind of sad that we're not going to get it.
Yeah.
It,
Uh,
it,
gonna
it
take
was
this off on a separate tangent here. Did any of you guys play Star Wars Republic Commando?
no.
no.
All right, I never missed a chance to plug this game. This game was awesome. It was the greatest first-person shooter I've ever played, which says a lot considering played almost every single first-person shooter. It was so amazing, and we haven't seen a sequel for it. And I just never missed a chance to plug that. So that's two amazing Star Wars franchises that have been not continued, where you get The Force Unleashed having a sequel, which was abject. The Force Unleashed.
I gotta say, the first Force Unleashed, I had it on PS2, so the graphics were horrible, but I love that
It
game
was
to bits.
The sequel only lasted 6 hours or something, though.
Yeah, but the sequel was still good.
Still, Force Unleashed was always an average game. It looked amazing and it played well, but it was always an average game. Whereas Battlefront and, in my opinion, Republic Commando were possibly not game of the years,
Well-known
but
games, yes. Yeah.
yeah, possibly not game of the years, but really games that fans adored. So I'm just so gutted that LucasArts need to hire a new head of studios to get their priorities sorted, because they're releasing Star Wars 1313 or 1313,
Yeah.
which was unveiled at E3. One of the few new IPs to be shown, and that game looks sweet. It looks like Uncharted just in a Star Wars universe. And just looking through it and all, maybe that has taken certain elements from Battlefront and possibly Republic Commando and maybe from The Force Unleashed. And I've got high hopes for 1313 simply because it promises to be the mature Star Wars game that fans have wanted.
Yeah, I actually really enjoy, like, Star Wars 1 through 3, I actually didn't get to see, but other Star Wars games I've extremely enjoyed, like Battlefront 2, The Force Unleashed. They were amazing games. So all Star Wars games normally do, I guess you can say, well. Um,
Yeah.
and something I just realized now is that many games don't really go with their third game. Like Battlefront 3 isn't
The
going to
trilogy.
happen. Portal 3 isn't going to happen.
Wait,
Um,
what about Portal 3?
I'm just saying, there's a lot, like, personally, what I think is that a lot of developers don't go into making a third sequel.
Simply, yeah. Unless you've got barrels of money to throw at games, it does become hard to reinvent time in and time out for the franchise. I mean, Gears of War was a perfect example of it. Number one was a great game. It was terrible to look at and had pretty weak mechanics, but it was still a great game for what it tried to create. Gears of War 2 was one of the games of the generation with what it how it upgraded on Gears 1. And Gears 3, I loved it, but it was the same game,
Hmm.
just with new skins, and it didn't even get bigger, the whole set pieces and stuff. Considering in Gears 2, anyone who's played it will remember the giant scene when your crew gets swallowed by a huge worm, like a worm that's the size of a mountain, and you have to cut your way through it.
Through all
Going
the
back to
heart and
Gears
shit,
3,
that was
Yeah,
bad.
that's
Yeah.
quite logical.
going back to Gears 3, it was a bigger principle. It was the battle for Earth, but it never felt that epic sense that I got from being swallowed by, a 60,000-foot giant worm.
Hmm.
And having to cut out 3 hearts and all the blood and shit.
That was fun. And there's
Yeah.
the thing the cutscene at the end when they get vomited out of the worm's side. That was just incredible. I couldn't stop. Even though it was kind of disgusting, it was just so funny.
And then Coltrane says one of his one-liners, and everyone laughs.
Coltrane's amazing. Such a
Yeah.
generic character, but so cool. Alright, this is...
Oh yeah, by the
Have you
way,
guys-
guys, I lied. I actually did see Star Wars 1313. I said I didn't, but I actually have. I just remembered.
You dirty liar, motherfucker.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
what are your thoughts on it, man? You excited for it?
Me? I don't know. I want to see a bit more. I tend to not get excited for games unless I actually see, like, well into it. Like, I think there was only one or two videos that were shown. I want to see a bit
Yeah,
more of it.
I think it's pretty early on in its the dev cycle, so
Yeah.
I hope they don't rush it out though, considering that next year, in my opinion, is the last year of this generation of consoles. They'll
Yeah.
step it up, everyone, because according to a friend of mine who's a game journalist in the UK, he doesn't believe that any more games will be announced to this generation of consoles after December of this year, simply because me and him are both super excited for Hideo Kojima's new game, codenamed Project Ogre. And this E3 was the last chance Kojima had of releasing it or announcing it for this generation of hardware. And the fact that this game's been in development for years, and that he's held off for this long, it does raise the question of one of the world's best game developers is thinking about the next generation of hardware. What are the other um, companies thinking?
Hmm. I get where you're coming from. On that note, does that mean that we are going to have to expect for new hardware to be announced maybe later on this year, early next year? What are
Next
you
year,
expecting?
it's gotta be simply because I've told Bo and Dim this earlier. The Activision court case between Vince Zampella and Jason West, it got resolved 2 weeks ago or something, but they had to release loads and loads of documents to the press so they could verify the credibility of each piece of evidence. And a piece of evidence that was released was a contract between Activision and Bungie for a game called, oh fuck, I've forgotten it. Okay, scratch that. For Bungie's new game, and what it said was it was a contract for a 4-year game. I think it was not bi-year, maybe it was bi-yearly. I think I've got that wrong. It was once every 2 years they were going to release the game. And the cool thing was, though, the very first game was going to be released on Xbox 360, the new Xbox, which wasn't named in there, but it said next generation Xbox, only the PS3. They said they were going to offer possibly to advance it to the PS4 or something, but
Oh,
no concrete plans in place. So it also raises the question if Activision have got plans like this. Used to say EA don't have plans like this and Ubisoft don't have plans like this.
yeah,
And
yeah.
the fact that the PS4 wasn't listed on that contract, does that mean that it's slightly behind in its development than the Xbox,
But
what do you want to
didn't
call it, 720?
didn't the Xbox 360 come out after the PS3? No, sorry, before the PS3.
It did, and that's why people are going to buy the first generation hardware. There's no doubt about it, and that's why I think the Wii U, it played it so dangerously at this E3, simply because it came out saying we are the only piece of new hardware announced, which was great because whether you like Wii or not, everyone's excited for the Wii U, just slightly
Yeah,
to see what it can do. But if say Microsoft had rocked up and gone, of course, we are working on the next generation of Xbox hardware coming at you, possibly between 2013 and 2014, that would have blown the Nintendo Wii U out the door because
that
everyone
is
would have said,
very true.
screw the Wii U. I could wait. I could get it now and play amazing looking Assassin's Creed 3, or I could wait another year and play mind-bogglingly amazing looking Assassin's Creed 4 or
Hmm.
something like that.
Yeah, I
Which
get
was
where you're
why
coming from.
I felt that this E3 was a massive waste for both Microsoft and Sony because if Sony had announced it and Microsoft hadn't, Microsoft would have had the shaft on the whole next generation of consoles, and that's his 10-year cycle. They wouldn't have sold anywhere near as much as the PS4.
What year did the PS2 come out? Do you know?
Don't ask me to go back that far.
Uh,
Pa- Prior to 2000, wasn't it?
somewhere
Far
then. So
back.
practically, it has had its 10-year life cycle. I'm saying. So
Yeah, and that's ridiculous. The fact that last generation's console is 10 years old, we still don't have the next generation.
mm,
I'm kind of sad about that. And this segues really neatly onto another topic that I haven't told these guys about yet, but I was intrigued by my story. Essentially, Microsoft this week bought a host of domain names, including Xbox Live Tablet, Xbox blah blah blah. But one that was consistent was a domain name called www.xbox8.com.
What?
And this was
What does that
consistent with
got
the
to
fact
do?
that it was www.xboxlive8.com. There was always an 8 at the end of every domain name. And here's why I think it could be legit. The name that the new Xbox has been thrown around a lot lately was Xbox Infinite, or Infinity. And what happens when you take an 8 and turn it on its side? Infinity sign. And the fact that the Windows Phone 8 was recently announced, and there's
Yeah,
going to be a
that's
Windows,
true.
and there's going to be Windows 8, which is a new iOS operating system. So,
Talking about next-gen
food for thought.
consoles,
Yep.
and also the Battlefront 3, which we should be talking about, do you reckon that with the release of this footage that they're trying to hint that they're possibly maybe going to keep working on it, like maybe a new developer?
See, when Duke Nukem got, I'm going to keep bringing this example back up every time we discuss Star Wars, because Duke Nukem was in the exact same boat as Star Wars, but for 5 years or so, it was being made by former employees of whoever was making Duke Nukem in their homes. Until Randy Pitchford came on and picked up the project with Gearbox. So if the guys from Pandemic are still working on this game, even in their spare time, that's going to be moving along nicely. So that when a big name publisher needs a new IP, they can just invest in that, and they've already got the essence of the game to work with.
Yeah.
So I mean, if Battlefront 3 came out on the PS4 or whatever it's going to be called, I'm almost certainly going to get the new Xbox. It's just, Microsoft fanboy. But that would really sway my opinion. So,
Yeah. Because I was thinking, if they do start remaking or restarting to make Battlefront 3, will it be released on this gen console or next gen console?
It's got to be next gen, simply because
It's too
why would
late.
you release anything this gen? Yeah,
Yeah.
this generation should have been. I'm going to bring out my game journalist friend again, Mike Gapper. By the way, follow him on Twitter. He's very good. He's really insightful. But the new generation of hardware should have come out a long time ago, and I'm saying 2 years maybe. Simply because, if you look at the games that were released at this E3, they look fucking amazing. Every single one of them just looks incredible. But the point is, you can look at Star Wars 1313 and think, man, that's cool. Then you've got a problem, simply because that game does everything right, from what I've seen, and the fact that no one is too excited for it. We're all excited for the new Call of Duty and the new Halo. See, that's a problem, in my opinion, because I think that games on these generation of consoles have got too good. They've hit their peak, and they need somewhere else to go.
That's true. I guess everyone's, in a way, too bored of... No, that's not the right word.
Uninterested.
We've become accustomed to seeing amazing games to the point when, we're not interested in excellent games. We're interested only in amazing games.
Yeah, pretty
It's
much.
great, but if you look at BioShock Infinite, which is pushed back, that game is doing things that should not be possible on this generation of hardware. They just should not be possible. The sheer scope of the world, all the actions that you can do in it, it's incredible. And I'm just thinking, if that game got released on our next generation of hardware, what else could they do with it? If they're already destroying the boundaries that the consoles have set for themselves, what could they do with more power? So I just think that we should have had the next generation, not necessarily a long time ago, but certainly by now we should have had it.
I think everyone's expecting it. Like, I gotta say, if they don't announce anything next year, then what the hell are you doing, Microsoft or Sony? Seriously, you're a bit outdated.
They're getting a huge cash flow though from the Xbox. I mean, it's consistently outgrossing in sales the PS3 and the Wii at this point. So, in my opinion, it's got to be Sony have got to step up their game and release their new hardware.
But see, I remember in 2010 reading like this internet site saying that the PS4 and the Xbox 720 or whatever you want to call them were going to be coming out 3 or 4 years after whenever this was. So
yeah, we've been calling out for the next generation for over 3 years now. So I don't know. It should have been released.
Hint, hint, Microsoft, Sony.
Yep, get your asses in gear, boys. We want some new hardware. And
But also on the note of hardware, I'm not looking forward to see the price tag.
uh, they've got to. Microsoft, was it Sony released their PS? It wasn't the Vita, the thing before that, the Go,
Oh yeah,
at
that
six
was
hundred American dollars. That's
that
that is.
was that was screwed up.
I couldn't believe that. My jaw hit the floor when I saw that because I could have bought an Xbox and a few games with it for cheaper than the PS Go. And you know, I just
Sorry.
really hope that they've wisened up to the whole marketing scenario because an Xbox isn't worth the current $300 slapped on it in terms of how much it costs to develop. They're still pushing their luck with what it was originally released at, which was 700, wasn't it?
Something like that.
I can't
Yeah,
remember the Go. Like the Go for me was a complete fail. Like on the note, like
I just
as much as it's going to
yeah.
be $700, it's also it was only download only games that you could play. So you would
On
also
the
have to spend heaps more money on buying bigger memory cards because once you run out of memory, you're gonna have to spend maybe another 50 to $100 on a 16 or 32 gig little memory card.
On the note of PlayStation Go, I gotta bounce. So, Fallen Angel out, guys. See ya.
Later, man.
Uh,
So yeah, make sure we get him back for the next podcast, which we are thinking of doing in maybe 2 weeks or something, because
every fortnight, yeah.
this is the summer in America where majority of games, not just America, northern hemispheres, where most of games are released. I'm getting myself really mixed up here. Where no new developments are, released or spoken of. So we might make it kind of a irregular show until we get some consistent news and feedback. So yeah, and guys, let us know what you think about the podcast. If there's any topics you want to discuss, any questions, we're always open to them. And yeah, we'd love to hear from you.
Yes, as Dreadbeat noted, make sure you put any topics you want us to talk about in the comment section below, or even just message us saying, "Hey, talk about this," and we'll try to talk about it if it's worth talking about. Yeah,
Yeah,
so
should we wrap it up there?
why not?
Okay, guys. This has been the first Gamekeeper podcast. Thanks for bearing with us, and we're really excited for this. We'll make sure we keep you guys posted on any new developments for our page. We got some more possibly reviews coming up, some more unboxings as each of us get new games, and yeah, speak to you guys soon.
Also, make sure you check out our Facebook page. Best
Oh,
place
yeah.
to keep up to date with all our new videos, podcasts, reviews, unboxings, and all that. So yeah, thanks for watching, guys.
Later.
Laters.